We're here with Tommy Brooks, Evander's trainer. Could you tell us first off, how long have you been with him?
I was with him when he started, and then I left, and then I came back, and then I went with Tyson, then I came back again.
Now tell us about the man, Evander.
He's a great person, great human being. He's like a little brother to me, so, you know, we've been at it for a long time, so, you know, I'm going to go with him all the way to the end.
Where did you first meet him at?
I first met him in Knoxville, Tennessee. That's where I first met him before he even made the Olympic team.
And tell us about this fight. I mean, what certain preparation? I mean, he is getting a little older. Do you find that his step is a little slower, or what does he compensate for that?
I don't think he's any slower. He's about the same. Naturally, he's a little bit older, but he's in better shape than most 28 years old. That puts him 20 years older than those guys. So, but he stays in tremendous shape.
All the time trains?
All the time, babe.
And hey, good luck. Wait, it's in West Virginia, right?
It's in West Virginia at the Greenbrier.
Greenbrier, West Virginia.
Yes,
this Saturday coming up, right?
That's right, yeah.
Here in New York City at Church Street Boxing Club, Evander Holyfield holds an open workout for the media and fans. He talks about his upcoming fight against Sherman Williams, which will take place Saturday, January 22nd at the Greenbrier Resort in West Virginia. The fight will be broadcast live on pay-per-view, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, so check your local listings. It's Martin Luther King Day today. Did he influence your life?
Of course. You know, we have the freedom that we have, not just black people, but everybody. Somebody to stand up. I think, you know, everybody contributed to make this world go around, especially the United States. I took care of myself. When, you know, the purpose of take care of yourself is to be able to extend your career as long as you want to. At this time, I just tried to get myself to be able to jab, be able to throw the combination, being able to fight my fight. I just feel that if I fight my fight, I can beat anybody. And everything that I did, my coach will always ask me to shadowbox last, because he wanted to see, even at our time, would I forget how I really want to be. So how you really want to be is how you shadowbox. So if you drop your hand down like this is what you say, I like doing this. So you want to pattern yourself, shadowbox, to move and all that, you know. I'm a big guy, but when I'm shadowboxing, I want to look good. I want to move, even though I don't feel like doing it, but I want to do it because remind myself this is how I really want to be. Because you fighting against air, ain't nothing but air. If you can't be good with nothing but air, then how in the world you think you're gonna be with somebody standing right there? If you mess up, they're gonna hit you. At least with the air, it don't hit you. At least you can look good in front of the air, but you got to build it from that. That's the reason why, you know, when you attack, you want to go into shallow box and ask yourself, okay, if I shallow box, now ain't nobody hit me. Now, do I drag? Why drag? So all of a sudden you get this image of yourself. Once you get this image of yourself, it's hard for whatever you go through, it's easy to come back to your image, to how you're supposed to be, and that's allow you to look good and allow you to win half the time.
What do you feel your best punch is?
Well, if you have just one best punch, you ain't gonna win long. Got to have a lot of them. I'm telling you, got to have a good jab. Got to have a good right hand, got to have a good left hook, got to have a good uppercut. All these things you got to perfect. It's your hands. These same hands is the hand they're going to do everything. And so it's not so much how you think. You can't sit there, oh, one good punch, man. Your chance of winning is going to be slim. But as long as you're throwing punches, your chance of winning is going to always be great. Like that, you know, you don't let people get you caught up. I got this dangerous left hand. Yeah, you know, better have a dangerous right too. Because you don't hit that left, at least you hit with the right one. Because that guy keep going to that side that you can't hit with that left hand, what you gonna do? Give up? Oh, you ain't going the right way. So you know that's the art of the game, you know. But like with me, I've been doing it ever since I was 8 years old, and I became better than everybody because when the guys turned 16 years old, they could date. I couldn't date. So when they came back at 18, they couldn't whip me no more. And so you know, it's all these things worked out for me. You don't get no better when you're not performing. And you can take time and wait. You get the opportunity, but you can't make the best of your opportunity because you ain't do nothing in the process. You just waited. So I understand if I take on some fights and keep my skills sharp, and I do better.
Are you surprised that you're still fighting? Did you think 10, 15, 20 years ago that you'd still be fighting at this age?
I'm very surprised because I was asked when I came from the Olympics when I was going to retire. And I told him at 28.
That was 84. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, and I told him at 28. Well, what's your limit? But really, I love what I'm doing, and as long as I can train, if I can train and feel good about what I do at practice, I feel that.
Do you see yourself fighting at 50?
No, I don't see myself fighting, but if it takes 50 to do it, then I would do it. But I take one day at a time.
What's your take on the heavyweight division now with David Haye and two Klitschko's on top?
Well, they're the three best fighters that now, and until somebody beat them, they still be the best.
Who do you think you have the most realistic shot of getting a title shot at first of those three?
I don't know, because they go back and forth. They say, he's a big idol. No, I don't want to fight my idol.
Well, you cut your teeth on value level as far as fighting big guys is concerned.
Well, it's proven fact that if I fight somebody 7'2", I fight somebody 6'7". I'm saying, what's the difference? I'm saying,
Have you talked to the Klitschko's about a possible fight at all, or David Haye?
No, they ask them the question. They kind of skip around and they make But
Evander, what about Adam? What about Adam? What do you think about Adam?
I don't know. I just think when it all comes down, you pay people enough money, they'll fight. I'm saying, and being the heavyweight, at some point in time, being the heavyweight champion of the world, you say, okay, then it come down to how much money I'm gonna make as being the champion. Once you become it, then all of a sudden, you have to challenge yourself. And so, what is the good part when you do get there? You say, well, in my reign, this is how much money I made. I'm saying, would you say, oh, I defended my title 25 times and I made 15 million. That's it. When I can say, well, my first 4 defenses in my title, I made 84 million.
How much of this is glory, accomplishment, and how much is money?
Well, the big thing is performance. When you love to perform, money comes. The fact of the matter is when I love what I'm doing, and if I didn't want to box, I just say I don't want to do it anymore. It's not about thing. It's just how you finish.
Do you need the crowd? Do you need the adulation?
No, if I need that, all I do is stay at home because I get that enough.
What style do you feel you compete with the best?
Well, I'm the type of person who make adjustments. So it really don't make a difference to be the undisputed. And it's, you just got to be able to change when it's necessary.
Absolutely.
You're gonna be great. You can't get bored. Bored just a thought of mine. Just how one think.
But you're already great. It's not like you're.
But you know what? If that's the case, then I have the belts. But you don't have the belts, so you always got you always got to make adjustments. Always got to make adjustments. But it's not so much. It's not so much that. It's just so much as life is how you end. No one choose their beginning; they can choose their end. So for me, that I need to go ahead and do this where I can put that period mark right there and say, this is how my career ends, and start something new. You just got to know when to end it.
How do you always stay such a great champion and role model at the same time?
It's my mama. I was like, I had a lot of people in my neighborhood, saying, oh, he gonna be a sissy. And they say that because the fact of the matter that, I couldn't do everything that everybody in the neighborhood did. I couldn't curse, I had to come in the house at a certain time, couldn't date, couldn't none of that, all that stuff that they call love, but structure. And that structure love that, a lot of young kids don't like because everybody want to be just like everybody. Don't nobody want to be changed. Somebody else do something, you want to do it. My mom said it ain't like that. You'll never be successful trying to pattern yourself after all your friends, because everybody ain't willing to pay the price. Not that everybody can't, it's just they choose not to, you know. So you know, at a young age, my mother put it in and said, you know, you don't have the rights that all the other guys have. And I kind of figured, why not? We all guys. So you're an athlete. You don't supposed to be doing that. You don't supposed to do that. You don't think that you got the right that everybody else is. All depends on what your job is. You know, you can't be a lawyer and hate reading. You can't be an athlete if you hate working out. You know, just all these things that my mama just said. You know, if that's your friend, then your friend should want you to be successful too. He shouldn't be telling you, you ain't got to practice today. Let's do this. And I wouldn't be who I am as it went for my mama, and it went for my grandmother. When she went there, my grandmother was over. And so so I realized that I believe in the Word of God, but I never would have got to the Word if my mama didn't beat it in me. so my mama beat it in me, and so I'm this way, and I'm happy now. But for 18 years of my life, I didn't think she really liked me. I turned 19 years old, and I realized that everything I was successful about did what she told me to do. I just stuck to it.
What do you attribute your longevity in the sport to?
Lord Jesus Christ. I believe in Jesus. I believe that each and every time you say the Lord's Prayer, you ain't doing nothing but blessing yourself and blessing other people. So as long as you can keep God first and be thankful for Him to give you everything that you have, I was given the sport of boxing. I wasn't born boxing. I learned from a person who wasn't my father, who kind of felt that I could, and it inspired me to work hard. And different other trainers throughout my whole 40 career of boxing came into my life and add to it. And so I think with me, on the inspiration part, being able to look out there today and say, when I was young, they said I was too young. Now that I'm old, they say I'm too old, but I was able to do it then too. So, which kind of inspired people, never give up. You may not get it when you want, but you'll still get it if you don't quit.
The fight will be broadcast live on pay-per-view at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, so check your local listings. And I'm Kristal Hart reporting from Church Street Boxing Gym, Lower Manhattan, New York City.